Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos. So as I had said before, I was really excited about the new box and all the decks that I was going to be able to build with it, and this is probably one of the ones I was most excited about. Um, it's a Tea Burn deck, but not your usual Tea Burn. This one runs Kickfire, which it's a super gimmicky trap, but when it works, it's so fun. So if you don't know what he does, I'll read the card. Once per turn, when a face-up fire monster or monsters you control is destroyed by a card effect, place one counter on this card for each destroyed fire monster. During either player's standby phase, you can send this card to the graveyard, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent for each counter. So it's a little hard to pull off, or it was before this box. This box made it way easier. Um, The cards that I'm running 3 of the Goka, the Power of Malice. This monster, you can special summon it if you control one fire monster on the field, and then you have to destroy one of them. So this coming into the field, it's immediately a counter on your Kickfire. Another card that helps to get that effect, it's Gaia Soul de Combusto. Which this monster has high attack, 2000 attack, but it destroys itself at the end phase. So that's another way to get counters. And the other way, the best way, in my opinion, is this 8-star monster, Bonfire Colossus. So you can also special summon him by just controlling one fire type monster, and then you have to target 2 fire monsters you control and destroy them. So a lot of the times I would target him and another monster, and I would get 2 counters on the card, which is 2000 damage. Pretty good. I run one Blast Asmodean just because it's a fire monster and he does have that 500 damage if you chain one of your traps. Obviously every monster in here is fire. I run 2 Blazing Pachi because I was lucky enough to get them. And I don't really think I'll be running them anywhere else. One Sergeant Electro because it's a really good card, obviously, to pin back row. And then the dragon that we got from the card flip event, Flamble. He's another fire monster, and it also has a effect damage. So that's good. The traps, we run the 3 Kickfire, 2 Michisur because you are destroying your monsters continuously, so a lot of times you'll have an empty field, and you need to, you need to keep field advantage by destroying your opponent's monsters as well. There was one time where I actually chained 2 of them to one Gaia Soul being destroyed. It was pretty cool. One enemy controller because it's still the best card in the game. One double summon, this deck also works as a beatdown. I forgot to mention that. I mean, you're running monsters with very high attack, 2200, easy to summon, 1700, 1850, and of course the 2000. So this deck hits you in 2 ways. It's either gonna beat all your life points with high attack monsters, or it's gonna burn you. So I had a lot of fun playing it. Let's go ahead and get into these replays. This first one is against Meiko Tsunami. Yeah, Kickfire has been out for a real long time, but there was no real way to make a viable deck with it until now. I literally made this last night and I've been playing it all day. It's so fun. So I go first. I do have a Kickfire in hand. I forgot to mention that I am running Duel Standby. And the reason why is because I want to see Kickfire as much as possible. So I said the Kickfire, I said my double summon kind of as a bluff, and I summon my Blazing Patch. He goes for Mirage Dragon and sets 2 cards face down, but he doesn't attack, so that tells me that there's probably a Mirror Wall back there. I draw into another Kickfire, and I just set that because next turn I'm going to be able to activate both and get 2 counters instead of the one I would get if I just use the one that I have. He's using Buster Blade. Buster Blader with an extra deck, probably the fusion that requires you another dragon, and that's why he's running the dragon engine. He doesn't do much, just summons a Draco, searches. Um, I summon my Blasphemodian, chain the 2 Kickfire to activate its effect and burn my opponent for 500. And then I go for the Goka play, which I special summon him. I target my Blasphemodian. It gets destroyed. I get 2 counters in Kickfire, so that's 2500 burn damage that I'm going to be able to do. And then I figured I could just attack into this Draco and get the rest of the damage. He does, however, have Security Orb, so he flips my monster into defense mode. I go with Blazing Impachi, and he has Enemy Controller, so he flips my monster into defense mode as well. And I end my turn, but at this point I only need 1500 damage, and I can actually get that just by summoning Gaia and letting the card destroy itself. So he goes for Buster Blader because he needs to get over my Goka, and he does attack and destroys my Goka. At this point, like I said, I already have my winning condition. I just summoned the Gaia Soul. I don't need to attack, I just end my turn. It gets destroyed. Kickfire gets 2 more counters, and during his standby phase, I'll activate both of them, doing a total of 4000 damage. There we go. Activate the first one, chain the second one. 2000, 2000. Pretty gimmicky win, but it's really fun to pull it off. This deck had a surprisingly high win rate. I mean, I am still pretty low on the ladder, so I didn't expect a lot of competition there. But I played some people in a duel room from Darman's Discord. I played Reaper a bunch of times, and 2 other people that I can't remember their name right now. And I think I only lost once with it, so it does pretty well. And part of it is because people don't expect it, they don't really know what you're doing until it's done. So in this hand, kind of sucks because I don't have any, I didn't draw into my Kickfire, but this is where the other side of the deck kicks in, where I can just beat down my opponent with all these strong monsters. He plays a Senju and searches Blackluster Soldier, I'm sorry. Sets 1 back row and ends turn. I set my enemy controller, summon Gaia, special summon Goka, and sacrifice or destroy my Gaia to keep Goka on the field. I attack over his Senju, doing 800 damage, and I just end my turn. Another cool effect about Goka is that during your standby, it'll summon a token, and you can either tribute that token or sacrifice it for a tribute summon. You can destroy it and you'll get Kickfire's effect, so it's pretty versatile. I actually use it to destroy it when I summon my second Goka, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then I attack the face down. Unfortunately, it's a Yomi ship. That would have been a counter on my Kickfire, but unfortunately I just got it last turn, so I can't activate it yet. But I'm able to do 2200 damage. He's down to 1000 life points. And then he summons Notorious Strawberry. So nothing threatening. I try to finish the game by summoning my other Goka. So I activate my Kickfire. However, he does have Wild Tornado and destroys the Kickfire, but that's okay because, like I said, this deck doesn't rely on Kickfire to win. It has more than enough attack power to finish your opponent off. So I go Econ Take, sacrifice the token, and then tribute his Notorious Strawberry for my other Goka and just attack for game. So this is when when you don't burn your opponent and you just beat them down. That's why Kickfire was such a cool title for this deck, um, because literally you either beat your opponent down or you just burn him, and sometimes you do both. So that's why it works. Anyway, this next replay is against Yami Yugi.
I'm ready to duel.
And this is a perfect hand. This is actually or basically an OTK, as you will see. 2 Kickfire, 1 Bonfire, and any other monster is basically an instant win. He's running some weird deck. I guess he didn't know Armor X effects, but it didn't matter what he was playing. I had the winning condition in my hand already. I go for the 1700 because I can't activate my Kickfires yet, but I didn't have to. I could have just waited. He summons Great Angus and activates Black Pendant to get him to 2300 and destroys my Flamble. So I draw, but like I said before, I already have my winning condition. I even draw into my 3rd Kickfire. So I summon Blasphemodium, activate my 2 Kickfires in a chain so that his effect kicks, and I burn him for 500, and then I summon Bonfire Colossus, which, as I mentioned before, destroys 2 monsters on the field, and because I have 2 Kickfire, I immediately get 4 counters, which equals 4000 damage, which I don't even need because he's already at 1800. But even if he was at full life points, and he does have Destiny Draw, unfortunately for him, there's nothing that can get him out of this mess. He would need a Twister and have something already face down that could destroy one of the Kickfires. So during his standby phase, I just activate both, and that's the game. Pretty easy. Alright, let's go to the next one. I believe the next one it's a 3-star Demotion Dark Magician, which I keep going up against them, and I think that's 3 videos in a row where I show how I beat them with just this random decks. This one was a pretty cool win because he actually thought he goes first, and I believe he thinks I'm running just regular tail burn. So he sets all his cards and a monster in defense position. So yeah, he's just trying to get rid of his hand so that I don't finish him off with Revolution. However, my deck is completely different. I have 2 Kickfire and 1 Michisur, which is beautiful. I summon my Blazing Impachi, go for the Goka, and the reason why I did that is because I wanted to stay aggressive. I could have waited, but I figured if he summoned his Dark Magician next turn, he could have Dark Magic attack and just screw my life. So I decided to go a little aggressive. I didn't want to wait on the Kickfires. At this point, he still doesn't know what I'm playing, so I just destroy his Jester. He goes 3-star Demotion, and he makes the mistake of activating 1000 Knights, which is perfect for me because I just chain both of my Kickfire, getting the 2 counters I need to finish him off, and not only that, after my Goka gets destroyed, I'm able to chain my Michisur that was face down, and I destroy his Dark Magician. And even if he had Champion's Vigilance, Dark Magician was level 4, so he couldn't activate it. I draw during my standby phase. I can just activate my Kickfire, which is another really cool thing about the card. It can be activated during yours or your opponent's standby phase. So there it goes, 2000 damage and the win. Alright, let's go into our last replay, which is actually a pretty cool one. I'm sure y'all are familiar with the Chaz. He has a pretty cool YouTube channel. and he hands over at Darman's Discord all the time. So we actually duel. He beat me once using something else. I was using something else, and then I switched to this deck. He's using a really cool machine
Let me try.
Viper deck, and but it actually kind of plays to my favor because he doesn't know what I'm running. So anyway, he goes first. He summons Victory Viper and sets 2 back row. Luckily for me, I did draw into Sergeant Electro, so I set my Kickfire and my Michisur, and I tried to target one of his face downs. He immediately changed Dimension Gate, which, as you know, it takes the monster away from play, but if I try to attack directly, he can just summon it back. So I don't attack it because my win condition, it's not going to be attacking his life points, so that doesn't bother me at all. He summons another Victory Viper, goes Econ Take, goes immediately into the battle phase. I guess it didn't matter if he targeted one of the cards, because as you'll see, he just Dimension Gates my Sergeant Electro, and I do take 1600 damage. But at this point, I don't mind this game because he's not going to be attacking me. I can just sit on my Kickfire until I have my combo ready. So I just end my turn. He doesn't have anything, so he ends his turn. I finally decide that it's time to start getting counters on my Kickfire. I haven't seen a second one, so I just have to roll with one. So like I said, I activate my Kickfire, summon Blast Asmodean, special summon the Goka, destroying my Asmodean and getting 1 counter on the trap. I just end my turn again because I don't want to deal with either of those Victory Viper. He draws, doesn't get anything, and just ends his turn. I get a token from Goku's special effect, and then I special summon my Bonfire, destroying the token and the Bonfire to get 2 more counters onto my Kickfire. And the reason why I didn't keep the 2600 beater is because I like the token effect that Goku was providing me every turn. So he draws into Sergeant Electro. Econ takes, sets 1 card, but it's not enough to finish me off. I live with 200 life points, and I have my winning condition in hand, which is going to be Gaia, or was going to be Gaia, but I end up drawing into another Goka, so I believe I do that instead. Yeah, I special summon the Goka, tribute the Fireball token, get my 4th counter in the Kickfire, and just end my turn because I'm going to be activating it during his standby phase, giving him 1 big 4000 life point burn and winning the game. But again, it was a pretty fun duel. He was using a really cool deck. Shoutouts to him, and I'm gonna leave his channel in the description if you guys want to check it out. Super fun deck. Definitely weak against Harpies, as I keep saying with some of these fun decks that I use. Most of them will be weak against Harpies, but you can't just build around Harpies. You know, you gotta try to have some fun, and that's what these decks are. They're just fun decks to use. They're not gonna change the meta or anything like that. So I hope you guys enjoy that. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. And till next time.